Having gained some experience with relationships, models, and how we can interact with data in Laravel, it's now time to dive a little bit deeper into queries so that we learn how we can manipulate data, fetch data from a database in Laravel. I will show you 2 ways of interacting with your database in Laravel, and I think we should get right to it, shall we? Here we are, back again, list getting longer and longer here. And yeah, that's all pretty nice, but what are we actually doing here? We're inserting our data as of now, and we're getting it back from the database. We're doing this in our nice action controller here, where we're fetching all actions and all actions here, or all logged actions and all actions here, and where we're then inserting new log entries here. And how are we doing this fetching and inserting here? As I showed you in previous videos, we are using the Laravel models to interact with our database. We can do this because Laravel has this strong connection to its MySQL or MySQL database, because it has this built-in ORM. This is called Eloquent here, and this allows us to interact with our database in a structured way directly through our models. Now that's not something Laravel invented, but it's obviously a pretty handy thing to have when we're interacting with a MySQL database. Why is this nice to have? Because it enables us to use relatively complex SQL queries in a very easy to read and structure way, because we're interacting with our models and their relations in a really intuitive way. We don't have to transfer our line of thought into the SQL world. We then have to think about how to structure and write our query, but instead we're just writing, okay, model 1, then we got a property which we access of the name of its connected model, and there we then fetch like all entries or something like this. Transferred to SQL, we would have a very complex SQL query, including joins, selects, where clauses, and so on. And that all is boiled down to a very easy to read language here. If you get a chance to use this help Laravel offers here, I strongly recommend that you do. Nonetheless, Laravel also has a built-in query builder so that we can write all the queries ourselves, but still in a more readable and error-safe way than writing direct SQL. Now, that's it for theory. I will show you an example. First of all, I will show you how we can write this clause here with the normal query builder, so without using our nice action model, but instead directly querying our database. We would do it by assigning to our actions variable here the result of a query, which we start with db for the database, then double colons. Again, this is just a way of offering a shortcut to access the database or to send queries to the database. And it's important that we got this use db statement up here. So db, then we have to specify the table from where we want to get the data, because obviously it's not clear here which table to use. It is clear up here because we're building it through our nice action model, but it's not clear here. So we have to specify the table name, which is nice actions. And then we have to specify that we want to get all results there. But we don't write all here. That's something specific to Eloquent, which again is our way of accessing the database or our data through our models here. We just write get, which means get all the results for the specified select query. And as we didn't provide a specific select clause here, well, it just gets all fields and all rows because we have no select and no where clause. Now if we save this and reload our page, you see that it's still working. We still get our list here, even though we're overwriting this actions variable here with this one where we have a different access to the database. So this would be another way, and as you can see, it's already longer and it has the Downside that we actually have to remember the name of our database table, which might not be that difficult, but still, it's something we have to do additionally, and which is nicer up here. Now, for more examples of how we can build queries to our database, I will add my home blade view here a little bit, and below my unordered list here, I will enter the blade syntax here, and I will use the function dd, which means die dump, which basically means after this function here, exit the request, so to say, and just output the value of whatever I specify in the parentheses here. And I specify that I want to see the output of db, which is a variable we don't have yet, but I will send it to the view here. db should get the query, and query is just what we're now toying around with. So here we can build all kind of queries, and for example, a very common thing in database queries are joins. Now Laravel also offers us such joins. Again, we specify which table we, so to say, begin with. Let's say we have our nice action logs table now. Now I want to just structure this in a way that it's nicely readable. Now in this table, let's say I want to have a join, and then we have to specify with which table we want to join, so that will be nice actions, and then the how we join these two tables. So we join them on the nice action logs nice action ID, which should equal our nice actions ID. Enter a new line and get all results here. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, looks good. So we get 9 entries, which is the same number as we got list items here. But if we were to try to loop through them, so if we were to try in our home view to basically replace logged actions here with the db variable, because it looks the same, right? Both return 9 results. We will get an error. Now this is because actually it is the same number of results, but the results are totally different. Here, the logged actions, which we fetch through using Eloquent, so through using our models directly, we then access the nice action property, which is nothing else than just a relation to the nice action attached to this logged action, and then we attach the categories of that nice action, or the name of this nice action. And we can't do this down here because all we get here is just an array of some fields and the values. So no model thing going on here. If we tell him, now please get the nice action of the first result here, well, the first result is just a list of fields and the values in them. Laravel has no chance of knowing anything more about the attached nice action than what we selected here. So we have no chance of accessing this kind of properties here. So that's very different to understand. The query builder just returns an array where we have keys which map the fields in our database and values which map the values in our database. That's all. Whereas when we use Eloquent, or the model syntax, so to say, like this here, we actually get a list of models with all the connections and therefore all the connected models as well back. And that's why we can then access them in a way where we're accessing them in our home view right here. That's very, very crucial to understand. One more thing. The query builder has a very similar syntax to our Eloquent way of querying data or getting data. So most of the commands we have here, we can also use here with Eloquent. That means if we specify where clauses here, which we don't as of now, but we will in the next video, we can also specify where clauses here. For example, let me just do this right now. If we specify a where clause here that we only want to get actions which, let's say, yeah, which have a name of greet, now we have to replace the all here with get, because now we added a condition. And now reload this page. We only see the greet action up here. The other actions are gone from our link bar up here. Now don't wonder that we still see hugs and kisses here, because this is a total different query. This is from this query here where we have no restrictions. So that's important to understand. We got the way of building our queries, which is the same for the query builder and our Eloquent model. I hope that difference really was clear, because it's very important. And in the next video we will have a look at some actual commands we can use when building such queries. See you there.